What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Radiovania, episode number 23, your nerdy public radio for all things entertainment and pop culture. My name is Zach Rotello, at Zach Rotello on Twitter, and sitting across from me is John Swansong Parker. John, welcome back from vacation.
Yeah, well, welcome back yourself. How's it going, Radiovanians?
It's how's it going with you? That's the thing, man. We've taken a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
What have you been up to?
We're taking a break from each other in our relationship, but I think it was
healthy. You come back strong. You come back. The longing makes the heart grow fond.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't that the saying?
Something like that. Yeah. Can we get like a stitched pillow of that, or maybe put that on the Radiovania merch on the back of the shirt?
Yeah, we can get it on the back of the shirt. Or tattooed.
Oh yeah, sure.
So what have you been doing on my ass? BVS in my ass. So what
I took it in the ass. What happened?
Oh, we all did.
Yeah.
The film-going audience of America, definitely. Yeah. So, what have you been doing since we've been gone? We haven't recorded in a while.
Yeah, I've been working a lot at the shout out Columbus Clippers.
Oh yeah.
The best, worst job I ever had. But it's been fun. Been working a lot with that. Been going home, helping out around the house.
Cool.
Cal, if you're listening, I know you are. You came to visit recently.
Yeah, I got to talk to Cal.
Finally
Very
got
nice
to meet
gentleman.
him. He's not the Phantom anymore. He's real.
He's a real human being. John's not making him up.
Yeah, so this past week was a lot of fun. I got to see Killing Joke on Monday, which I'll talk about in a second, and then we kind of just spent the weekend doing family stuff, and then that culminated in going to the Wizard World Columbus Comic-Con yesterday on Saturday, which was July 30th.
And this was not your first time going to Wizard World, right?
No, I've been to Columbus Wizard World before in 2010 or 11. That's when I met Billy D. Williams, Adam West, Burt Ward. So that was a bigger Comic-Con than this one, but this one was still a lot of fun.
Why was this year's smaller?
I have no idea. I don't know if it was just the guest list or something, but...
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, roundup of your comic, not San Diego Comic-Con.
Right, which
Columbus Comic-Con.
I wish I was at.
We'll get to that one.
Columbus Comic-Con was cool. They had one show floor, so they had a bunch of booths and exhibits set up. You could go in. I bought a lot of stuff. Got a lot of animated Batman figures. Got some comic books, Silver, Golden Age, all that fun stuff. Mm-hmm. Looked around at a lot of the artists, which was cool. Talked to a lot of the artists too. I didn't buy anything, but they're just there to talk. So
cool.
Larry Elmore was there. Tom Cook, who was a Hanna-Barbera artist for a long time, so he did Scooby-Doo, Super Friends, Flintstones, like all that stuff. But yeah, so there was some cool stuff that we were checking out.
And who did you meet?
I met Sam Jones, a.k.a. Flash! Savior of the universe. So we met Sam Jones and went to his panel. He's a very nice guy.
Yeah, nice guy.
Huge. Very tall.
Sam Jones on Twitter. What's he on Twitter?
I don't know if he has a Twitter or not.
Well, we're going to find out. Vamp.
All right, keep going. Anyway, so Flash Gordon was really cool. We got a photo op with him. I got the photo here, which you already seen. We also met Jason Mewes. Got a selfie with Jason Mewes, as well as went to his panel. His was a little more fun than Sam Jones, not to knock Sam Jones, but Jason Mewes is just an entertaining guy. He was giving all his thoughts on comic book movies going on right now and his excitement for the Justice League movie and Wonder Woman and stuff like that. So it was cool. Overall, it was a good day. Not very long. I think we left around 4:30 or 5. The thing closed at 7, but we were there for most of the time.
Okay. There is no Sam Jones on Twitter.
Just fan accounts, I'm sure, probably.
I don't even see a fan account, to be honest.
Yeah.
The only thing close is this guy, and this is not him, right?
Definitely not him.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, Sam Jones, if you're out there listening, give us an email to radiovaniashow@gmail.com. And by the way, before you continue on that one, Radiovania is a nerd culture podcast. We talk about video games, movies, TV, entertainment, anything in pop culture that is relevant or funny or anything interesting that we think we'd like to talk about. If you like the show, if you like the format, if you like us, feel free to head to radiovania.com and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are getting a good response on YouTube. Videos getting good. Good number of views. We're going to continue to post on there. So go to radiovania.com for all the content you want. We know that iTunes can sometimes be cumbersome and you have to log in and all these podcast apps or whatever, but YouTube is a good place to enjoy it for you if you want. And, feel free to email the show at radiovaniashow@gmail.com or tweet us at Radiovania on Twitter. And if you tweet us questions, comments, whatever, we'll read them on the air and we'll talk to you. We'll get back to you. We promise. We'll retweet you, promote your channel, whatever it is. But we're here for the conversation.
Help us help you.
So what else do you have? Was that about rounding up the
That
Wizard
was about
World?
rounding up Wizard World. Yeah.
So tell me about the Killing Joke. You saw the Killing Joke.
I did go see the Killing Joke.
Now,
I paid to see it for the one night premiere. We saw it at Regal in Mason. Mm-hmm. I went with your boy John Larson.
Shaboy!
Yeah, who is already gone again.
Who has a terrible Twitter name, also.
JB Larson 5.
Yeah, that's just awful.
Right,
I love you, John. But
I'm not here to talk about that. Not getting into this.
Not getting into the Twitter conversation.
But I mean, he could. I like Johnny Boy or something.
Oh,
like that.
John. Yeah, he should change it. It should just be like
Bruce Larson.
Bruce, the big Bruce Larson.
That'd be awesome. Anyway, Killing Joke.
Yeah, Killing Joke.
So if you pay to see it in the theaters, there was a Mark Hamill introduction, which I'm sure is going to be on
cool.
the Blu-ray as a special feature. But it's about 5 minutes or something like that.
And the digital version is out now. But
it is out
physical,
now.
not.
The physical comes out Tuesday along with the Telltale Batman, which they went hand in hand. Yeah. So the intro, Mark Hamill just kind of talks about how he got into auditioning for the Joker, which if you've ever listened to a podcast or an interview, he's told this story thousands of times. He didn't want to do it. He's a huge Batman fan. He wanted to be like an obscure character like Hugo Strange or Clayface or something like that. And then he had his audition, and they're like, no, we want you to be the Joker. And he was like, well, okay, I'll do it. And then obviously that show exploded, and that was his first step in the Joker. He said there's like 3 parts of it. First part, animated series Joker. Second part, Arkham game series Joker, which gets a little more darker, obviously.
Yeah.
And then the third part is this Killing Joke performance as the Joker, which is the most brutal and the most demented and sadistic version of the Joker that has ever been in comics and will ever be on a cartoon. So, and then that's kind of how it led into the movie.
Can confirm. I've read Killing Joke, enjoyed it very, very much.
It's a classic story written by Alan Moore, one of the greatest writers.
Now, my biggest question, which I think might also be the biggest criticism of the movie.
Sure.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Just from reading the book, seems like not a lot of content to fill up an entire movie.
It's not. No, it's too short. It's about the actual content from the book on screen time is maybe half an hour or less.
Okay.
It's not a big book, like you said.
So what did they use to fill up that time?
They added a fluff piece of Barbara Gordon to give you more of an emotional attachment to Batgirl if you haven't had one already from reading the comics. That way,
now,
when spoilers, the
yeah,
Joker...
whoa. Are we doing... should we stay away from spoilers since it's kind of fresh?
I mean, but the book's been out for so long, and if you played the Arkham games, you know what happens to her.
It's true.
All
right, if you don't want...
you haven't seen it, though.
I haven't seen the movie.
Oh, then I won't spoil it.
Movie.
Anyway, so they add this fluff piece with Barbara at the beginning, and it's the first half hour, and it gives you more of an emotional attachment to Barbara and Bruce as like a tandem and stuff like that. So they kind of add a prologue, but the problem with it that I had is a couple of details, which I'm not going to spoil for you, but it feels so tacked on because it's like 2 separate stories that are connected with a really teeny tiny magnet in the middle. It's, but for me to see Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy voice this book, which I love so much, and that's how, when I read a Batman comic, those are the voices that I imagine are the ones from the animated series. So to see that actually fully fleshed out on a screen was glorious. It was worth the money. I'm definitely going to buy it. I might not watch the prologue when I watch it. I might just skip half an hour in when I watch it in the future just so I could see the famous Joker, monologues and stuff like that.
So starts weak, ends strong.
Yes.
Cool.
I would give it overall out of 5, probably a 3.
3 out of 5? What about the Radiovania patent 10-point scale?
Oh, 10-point scale?
Or 20-point scale, my bad.
20?
Well, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5.
Oh, okay.
Because 5-star ratings, there's so much lean in there,
Yeah, I'd give it a 7.
7?
6.5 to 7.
See? I'm fine with that. I'm excited to see it.
It's good book-wise, but all the stuff that they added to it, it just kind of, like I said, feels just kind of there. It's kind of like Wonder Woman and Batman v Superman. It's tacked on, and like it might be cool.
Interesting.
I didn't think it was cool, but some people might like it if you're a big Barbara Gordon fan. They got a comic book writer who works with Frank Miller to write the script for this movie to add on all that stuff, and I think he kind of went fan fiction-y on it, in my opinion. But whatever.
Well,
it's cool. Please go support it.
Yeah,
support any comic book stuff. Like, we're blessed to have all this, know.
Well, while I was on vacation, I went to the beach. My girlfriend's family had a good time there. Went to Chicago, saw Coldplay with a buddy of mine, and went in the city. Got some deep dish pizza. Went to a couple cool bars. It was good. In terms of nerddom, I read the long Halloween, which I've been putting off for a long time. But went to the beach.
For far too long.
I went to the beach with Long Halloween, Dark Victory, and Console Wars by Blake J. Harris, and I just kind of portioned my time out between the three. Had a great time just kind of relaxing in the sun and reading some comics and some books.
Sounds like a fucking dream.
It was awesome. But I really enjoyed the Long Halloween. I felt like that would make a very easy transition to the screen. I don't know if you would agree.
Are you talking
with me
about
on that,
live
but
action?
I'm talking
Would you have Batfleck? Or would you save this for when they reboot years down the line?
No, I mean, I think that...
I don't think you could do the story with the 20 years in Gotham Batman. It'd have to be more like a prequel to the Batfleck universe. You know what I mean?
That's true. Another thing to think about is in the current Batfleck universe that we live in, the Batfleck cinematic universe, is Harvey Dent Two-Face currently? Or do you think that's still yet to happen?
No one knows. They haven't talked about it.
I think that would be a smart way to go. And then that way...
In the Batfleck solo movie?
I think you could introduce that villain as the main villain, right? But then have Jared Leto's Joker, and then save the Joker for the eventually second.
See, I think that would be a good idea as well. I would want it to take place before Batman v Superman, though. Because I don't want a Batman movie with Batfleck and Harvey Dent where Batman's just killing people. Like, I want a story with Harvey Dent, a really good story, kind of like The Dark Knight, and that's what sends Batman over the edge. Or you do one with the Joker killing Robin.
Interesting. Yeah, I definitely think that The Long Halloween was one of my more favorite Batman comics I've read, just in terms of the story it tells. I really, like I said before, my favorite kind of comic books are when they're more down to earth, and I really like it when they focus on the mob in Gotham, because I feel like that is one of the most fascinating things about Gotham.
And Jeff Loeb loves the mob.
I love the Falcone family. I wish that they would work on some other families too. It's not just the Falcones, but the
Maronis and stuff like that play into it a little bit.
But it is really cool to see their lineage, and you get to know these characters a little bit better than just Carmine and like these head people that you've seen in Batman Begins. Yeah. And
I also like in the back of the book, there's like Jim Gordon and Batman are like looking at a wall, and it has all the the crime families written out and stuff like that. It's just like a fun piece of art that Tim Sale did that I liked, that helps you kind of navigate the family.
Yeah. And it did one of my favorite things about fiction, and when fiction can do this, and I'll end on this point since we got a hell of a show.
Right.
I love it when fiction sets me up to think that there is going to be an obvious ending, and then it flips the script. Because at the end of The Long Halloween, and no spoilers because I know my girlfriend is reading through it right now, I started to realize, oh, this is how they're going to end it? Okay. And then they completely flip it, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, I like that. I really appreciated that. And that made me do the thing where I closed the book, and if it wasn't for those last 3 or 4 pages, I didn't think I was going to really love it. I was like, they had some cool moments. I really enjoyed the Joker stuff. I really enjoyed Scarecrow, and then those last couple pages, closed the book, and I was like, cool. Very cool. Yeah. Very awesome. So,
quick question, what'd you think of Tim Sale's art? Because it's a very distinct art style for a Batman story. Really enjoyed
the art in The Long
The ears
Halloween.
are like 2 feet long on the back. Oh, that's so good. I
really enjoyed the art. I found myself not as enthralled with Dark Victory's art.
It's you can see how his art's progressed. I think Long Halloween is the peak of the best art.
It was Dark Victory still looks
close.
good.
Yeah, I mean it's still like
Halloween.
Kind of the same style, but Long Halloween is crisp. Also, I like how it looks on the newspaper style of comic print.
Yeah, that thick, meaty sort of paper.
It's nice.
Oh, it's delicious.
And then they got this glossy shit.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, John, as you all know, San Diego Comic-Con just happened. One of the biggest conglomerations of nerddom and pop culture that there is. And
we gotta go someday, man.
Oh,
I can't wait.
We'll make it there.
Okay,
we'll make it there, and we're gonna do the T-shirt gun, and we're just gonna shoot people in the face with Radiovania merch.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get buttons too, so that they stick into their head when they hit. So it's just like Radiovania is fun. Yeah. So
you don't want to carve it into people's heads like the Faith Militant,
like the Nazis.
Oh,
what are they?
Nazi scalps.
Yeah, Nazi.
I like my scalps. Great
Faith
movie.
Militant. Oh my God! Why'd you have to bring down this podcast?
They're all
hey.
Yeah. Just watch Game of Thrones.
So we got some San Diego Comic-Con stuff to talk about here, but let's start off with two of the bigger trailers, and let's hit Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Now, John, you are a big fan of Wonder Woman.
I am.
And you were a big fan of Gal Gadot in BVS, right?
I did. I liked her a lot. Obviously, the part that was in BVS was completely unnecessary. But you gotta like what you got. You know, sometimes you go to an ice cream shop and you don't ask for nuts on your ice cream, but they might put it on there, and like just as like they kind of forgot that might not be what you wanted, and it's a nice, delightful surprise. And I pulled up the trailer right here, and I'm watching it right now.
I'm watching it too.
It's great.
So immediate things to point out. I think comparing this, which I think, now correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's fair. But I think this movie's going to get compared to First Avenger a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
Captain America.
Yeah.
And I think in terms of aesthetic in this sort of... Now, First Avenger was World War II. This is World War I.
Right.
But this is sort of towards the end of World War I, right?
I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. This is supposed to be 1916 is when this takes place, or 17 or something like that. Because they want it to actually line up to when the movie comes out to be 100 years after when it's supposed to take place.
That's cool.
Yeah.
In terms of just pure aesthetic, costumes, environment, scenery, it looks better than the first Avenger.
Oh, absolutely.
It looks better than Captain America.
It does.
However, if Zack Snyder has taught us anything, is that his trailers are usually...
This is not Zack Snyder, though. You know what I mean? This is Patty Jenkins.
That is true.
He might be listed as a producer on this movie, but that's just because it's the Snyderverse that they are all a part of.
Yeah.
I don't know how much actual control they're giving to him. I don't think... Because why would you get Patty Jenkins, which is a pretty well-renowned female director, directing the first female comic book superhero movie solo, and then mess it up by letting Zach kind of have a controlling part of it? Just let her do her thing.
I'm not saying that he's going to mess up the movie. I'm just saying that Zack Snyder makes good trailers.
Okay,
and I think that this looks like a Zack Snyder trailer.
Yeah,
it's got the slow-mo, it's got the hard rock music, it's got the quick cuts and the sparks and everything. And while it does look visually spectacular, right? Like, I mean, I don't see why these group of guys, if it is the Snyderverse, right, is what you just said, right? If he is not the Godfather, but
now it's the Jeff Johns verse, though.
Well, we'll get to that news story in a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think it would be not common sense, but like I can see them saying like, all right, give the footage to Snyder and his team and let them cut a trailer. Patty Jenkins, you keep working on the final cut of the movie.
Sure.
Give it to someone else, because I guarantee you Snyder doesn't do all of his trailers on his own, but he seems to have the same team do every one of his trailers.
I think it's more of a Warner Brothers team. You know what I mean? I don't think, like, people say it's the Snyder trailers. I think the problem with BVS is that Warner Brothers marketing really screwed up with cutting those trailers. So I think that all those people have been fired. You know what I mean? Or something.
I don't think they've
Who knows
fired.
What happened?
They made money, though. That's the thing, though.
Right.
The trailers are...
Tonally, it looks like the first Avengers, but it plays like a Zack Snyder Batman v Superman trailer. I agree with you on
It reminds me a lot of 300, to be honest with you. It reminds me more of 300 or Immortals than anything else.
The shot on the beach with the horses and stuff reminded me of Ridley Scott's Robin Hood a lot, actually.
Oh, okay. Deep cut. I haven't seen that movie in a long time. But like they're driving these motorcycles and there's swords and biplanes and it just has a very like it's making sure you know that it's taking place during a war, which is cool.
Yeah.
And I hope that the movie does play up that angle to a good degree.
I'm excited. Definitely.
Question for you: what did you think about the inclusion of the whip? What did you think about seeing
the golden
whip
lasso
in action? How'd it look?
Man. I think it looks great. They showed it in Batman v Superman. When she's holding Doomsday with it. But I like how it glows and stuff like that. I thought it was sweet, because that's a staple. And if they weren't going to have the invisible jet, then they have to have the golden lasso. So.
Do you think they'll have the invisible jet?
They asked, and she said that no.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I figured
that would be silly. It's
very
as cool as the invisible jet is. It's just kind of silly.
So Wonder Woman still slated for June 2nd, 2017. That's not that far off. I mean, it's a year from now, but. I
mean, so far, like the people that they showed in the trailer. Obviously, we know Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, and she's great.
Gadot.
I thought Chris Pine was surprisingly charming as Steve Trevor. I mean, not surprisingly. I think we all knew he was going to be pretty charming, but he didn't seem to play that character in a weird way that we should be worried about. Mm-hmm. Connie, how do you say her name?
Whose name?
Connie Nielsen, playing her mother, Queen Hippolyta, looks cool. And then Robin Wright Jedi from Forrest Gump as the leader of the Amazonian armies. There's that cool shot of her jumping over somebody with the bow and then just icing this dude in the face. Oh, God, it looks sweet.
I think...
Oh, and the best part of the trailer, Wonder Woman sliding on a shield, fighting people. And, like, in the room, she's sliding on a shield.
Zelda Breath of the Wild style.
It looks sweet. Or like Legolas going down the stairs. I mean, come on, we're getting a Wonder Woman movie. There's no reason not to be excited about it, except for unless you saw Batman v Superman. Yeah. You're skeptical about that. But I think that this is in the hands of a different director. This is why I'm optimistic about Suicide Squad. It's in the hands of a different director.
Who's writing the Wonder Woman movie?
That's a great question. Let me look up right now.
Because, Zack Snyder does direct a hell of a movie, but the writing is also another thing that picked apart Batman v Superman. And we've had the BVS discussion so many times.
That was Terrio and Goyer.
Okay.
Writers, here we go. They obviously give William Marston, who created Wonder Woman back in the 40s, they give him credit. You have Alan Heinberg, Jeff Johns, and then Zack Snyder. But no, Zack Snyder and Heinberg are given story credits, but Heinberg and Johns are given screenplay credits.
Okay. Then I think Wonder Woman has a good chance.
Yes.
Now let's move on to something that I was not super excited about, was the Justice League special Comic-Con footage. Sure. So, John, I want you to lead this one off for me.
Yeah.
What did you think about this?
Okay, so here's the deal. I was not expecting Justice League, and I don't think a lot of people were, considering that they just started filming a couple months ago. If you read reports about it, they flew in the entire cast for the panel to talk about it, and they just released footage, basically, that they've pieced together of things that they've already filmed. Now, if you read up on articles, they talked about the whole Bruce Wayne, Barry Allen scene that is in this trailer that they showed to all the press. So it's basically that scene with another minute of extra stuff that they filmed, like little short things. I think it looks cool. Some of the lines in the movie so far, or at least in this trailer, I'm not super huge on. I'm also still a little hesitant about where he's taking Bruce Wayne. Because he's like having Bruce Wayne play like Nick Fury, where he's like recruiting this stuff, and we went, like I said,
I was getting an Iron Man vibe. I'm getting like a Tony Stark vibe.
So, and we got this. When we went to Jason Mewes' panel yesterday, somebody asked him what he was most excited about. He said he's excited about Justice League because that was his favorite comic series as a kid. But the problem that he has, and this is the problem that I have as well, and I would agree with him. Thanks, Jason Mewes. Is that
shout out to Jason Mewes.
Bruce Wayne Batman in Justice League is always the last person that they try to get because he's a solo guy. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't need a team and stuff like that. And they're always like, will you join the league? And, Superman's asking him, he's like, I'll be around when you need me, but like, I'm not part of the squad.
Sure.
Whereas this time he's like rounding up people. And he's like, hey, Arthur Curry, will you be on my team? And he's like, no, and stuff like that. And then he goes to see Barry, and Barry's like, yeah. And Bruce Wayne's like, oh, really? Wow. And he's like, really? And it's like a kid, and it's like Bruce Wayne. This is what they're doing. So at least we have Justice League, and at least Batfleck is still involved. And I like Ben Affleck a lot. I just think that the way they're writing Bruce Wayne is different. The same way that they wrote Bruce Wayne in Batman v Superman, where he spent 20 years in Gotham, and he gets tricked by a crazy man with long red hair and kills people. It just seems like a veteran Batman, I don't think, would act this way. But that's just from a comic perspective. Otherwise, visually, I think it looks cool. It was cool to see the Flash suit and the Cyborg suit. And surprisingly, Jason Momoa as Aquaman looks pretty sweet. There's that one shot of the wave crashing into him, which I think is a beautiful shot. But what did you think?
Here's my short summary.
Yeah.
Watching the trailer with the sound off, 10 times better than watching it with the sound on. Because you wouldn't know exactly what's going on. You get shots of Bruce Wayne looking good. He's in the suit. He's dressed up. He's got a nice beard in this opening thing that I really like.
Ben Affleck looks like a stud.
You got shots of Jason Momoa looking perfect as Aquaman. Like, you could not have found a better person to like give him like
a badass
grounded badass vibe. Exactly.
Yeah.
shots of Barry Allen. You got of even Wonder Woman comes and she's looking cool. And my favorite shot is the Jason Momoa like drinking the scotch and then throwing it down or whatever.
Crushes it.
It's got such a cool looking aesthetic. Even Cyborg, who I thought, I don't know anything about him. I liked what you told me about his origin story, but like even he looks kind of interesting in here.
Looks like a Terminator.
Yeah, but the problem is that once you turn the sound on, you're right. You do get into this thing where this feels like take one of Avengers, right? Like this feels like DC going, all right, now we get into Avengers, and because Batman v Superman was trying to set up this cinematic universe more than Man of Steel was, of course, but now it's like they're. I'm so concerned that this whole bringing the team together is just going to be
unnecessary,
so forced.
Yeah.
And what made me really worried is I think the worst part of this trailer is Bruce and Barry Allen. Like that scene they have together where he throws the batarang or whatever is like the most awkward exchange of dialogue ever.
Yeah, I need friends. It's like,
so can I keep this? It's like, shut the f*** up, dude. What are you talking? Like this is.
Get Grant Gustin out there.
I would even, you know what? From the episode that I watched that was terrible, like one of the worst things I've ever seen, I really like Grant Gustin. I think he's got charisma. This new guy seems like fine, but God, I don't know. This trailer is not good.
I think, and that's early. I think that's why. You know what I mean?
That's why they're calling it.
I'm not giving it a pass. I'm not giving it a fail. I'm giving it a wait until I actually see the movie.
I'm giving this video a fail, but as a trailer, I can't rate it because they're calling it on the title thing special Comic-Con footage. They're specifically saying that this is like, we've shot this stuff, we've edited it, here's what the movie's going to kind of feel like.
It's a poorly edited trailer, and I think that plays into it. Like the music in the background is dumb, and it's just like at the end, it doesn't have like a title or anything. It's just like, Arthur
I hear you can talk to fish.
I hear you talk to fish, which I'm sure is going to be cool in the movie, but the way it's just like set at the end of the trailer is just like, does he respond to that? Have you not filmed that yet?
It's just... it's jumbled, and that doesn't give me a good vibe. I would have rather them just said nothing than say anything at all. Mm-hmm. And having the panel is a great way to kick off. You should have Comic-Con, right? That's exciting for everyone that's in attendance. And I'm sure the trailer was exciting for the people in the audience, but I think it's the rose-tinted glasses, right? You go home, you watch it again, and you're like, oh, okay, so this is Justice League. I think when they do give us that full-fledged trailer that we see before Star Wars episode, whatever it is. When does this come out? When does Justice League come out? Next year?
Next November.
Next November. So when they give us this trailer before Wonder Woman, I think we're all going to go like, oh, okay, cool, Justice League trailer. But for now, it's like, holy Christ. It's so poorly edited. But
so the last part of the DC Comic-Con panel type stuff was just they brought out all the directors, or at least this is the last part that we're talking about. This is probably how they opened. But they brought out all the directors. So obviously you have Zack Snyder for Justice League, David Ayer, Suicide Squad, Rick Famuyiwa, the director of Dope for Flash, Patty Jenkins for Wonder Woman, James Wan for Aquaman. I have not. I need to watch it, though. And then Ben Affleck at the end they brought out for Batman. Cool to have them all there. The director of Flash and James Wan are really excited about their project. They seem more like upbeat about what they're doing. So hopefully those movies are good, because I think those are the two characters that you kind of need to worry about most, because it's not Wonder Woman, Batman, or Superman. Sure. David Ayer is obviously very pumped about Suicide Squad, as are we all. Zack Snyder was very quiet because he got booed on his way out onto the stage.
No way! Yeah. Are you serious?
Yeah, I watched it. He received a couple boos as he walked out. So they brought out David Ayer.
Sucks.
They were like, David Ayer, Suicide Squad. Everyone's like, ah! And they're like, Zack Snyder, Justice League. And some people like clapped, and then you could hear like, in the back. So it's
Jesus.
And I give him
ridiculous.
him balls for going out there twice, because he came out there for the director thing and for Justice League, and then he's like, this is what I have for you.
The motherfucker's laughing all the way to the bank. What does he care?
But you can see that he looks broken down. Like, he did not seem like he wanted to be there, but he wanted to show that it's still a united front, this whole DC Filmverse. And I kind of felt bad, you know what I mean? Because he tried, his vision is kind of whacked up. But anyway, so yeah, James Wan was talking about how he wants to bring his horror element to Aquaman, which I'm super excited about. And then Flash director is very excited. Patty Jenkins was like, she was already out for Wonder Woman the day before, so she was great. And then Ben came out at the end, and everybody went nuts, and he talked about how he's excited to work with Jeff Johns and stuff like that with his movie, but he still seems like he's Sad Affleck, you know what I mean? Like he's kind of trapped, he's trapped and he's stuck there.
Oh yeah.
And I would be too if they keep writing Bruce Wayne lines like, really? Just like that?
So you're in? You can talk to fish.
I hear you're fast.
Save me, Matt Damon!
No, dude, Matt Damon as Hush. People have been talking about that as the solo film. Or Robin.
I think that would be so funny.
He's Dick Grayson, Robin.
Jinkies, Batman.
Oh, boy. What if they just did a campy solo Batman?
I'd be totally
film,
fine with that.
And it's like the Adam West show.
Totally fine with it.
Ben and
it's,
Matt Damon.
At the end, it's all a nightmare.
Yeah, and he wakes up. Oh, no. At the end, Christian Bale wakes up. He's like, oh, gosh. What was that whole thing that just happened?
Oscar.
Thank you.
Oscar.
Call me, DC. I'm ready. So anyway, that was DC Comic-Con.
All right. Can we run through some other news?
Let's do it, yeah.
All right. So, Captain Marvel cast Brie Larson as Carol Danvers.
Yes.
From Comic-Con 2016. This is from slashfilm.com. I'm not going to read the article just because we got a lot of shit to do. But what do you think about Brie Larson as Carol Danvers?
That's been leaked for a little while. That they've been
talking with her.
It's cool. It's their response to Wonder Woman, though. Yeah. That's the one thing that DC has done that they beat Marvel to the punch at, and that's a solo female hero lead. I think it's a good pick though for a female superhero movie. Captain Marvel is really big right now. She's really popular, obviously playing the other side of the Civil War II against Tony Stark. So it's the right time to do that. And they've already thrown out. They have so much to throw out, and at this point, no one's going to care, and they're just going to trust them. So keep doing what you're doing. I think that's a great casting. An Oscar winner.
Oh yeah,
so that's big. You got some credibility there.
Definitely.
We'll see what happens when they announce it directly.
Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see what that movie looks and feels like.
Yeah.
From the HollywoodReporter.com, it says Jeff Johns confirmed as DC Entertainment president. The ascension of Jeff Johns at DC Entertainment continues. Following initial online reports, The Hollywood Reporter has confirmed that Johns now holds the title of President and Chief Creative Officer at the Warner Brothers division, answerable to Diane Nelson, who remains President of DC Entertainment, President of Warner Brothers Consumer Products, and President and Chief Content Officer of Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment. Jim Lee and Dan DiDio, that's a great name, co-publishers at DC Entertainment, will also continue to report to Nelson. So you have been riding that Jeff Johns train for most of your life.
Yeah, I give him full trust with most of what he does. He knows the DC characters, and he knows the DC universe, and he's written some very distinct stories the past decade and a half or so. You have Blackest Night, his runs on Flash, and how Jordan Green Lantern really revamped those characters who had long since kind of not been playing a primary role.
Sure.
He's done a little bit of Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman here or there. Justice League, he did all of the New 52 Justice League. He wrote the whole 52 run for the most part. So don't expect him to write any more books is all I have to say. He's too busy now. Same with Jim Lee. Don't expect Jim Lee to be writing or drawing a lot of comics now. He's doing Suicide Squad, Rebirth. But I bet you, and this is a bet that I can say wholehandedly, they said that he's only writing 12 pages of a 20-page book, and the other 8 pages are going to be somebody else. I think he does 6 issues of Suicide Squad just because he doesn't have time.
Yeah.
Jim Lee is so busy, so is Dan DiDio. These guys are working. Now they have their foot in comics and film, whereas Marvel, you have Kevin Feige who's running all of the Marvel stuff.
Feige.
And he's just doing Marvel movies. So.
Well, now you can get new blood in there, right? Isn't that the thing?
Yeah.
Don't you want that? You get you don't want the same people, right?
Sure.
Even though they're creative, talented, you got these things that you can look back at them forever.
Yeah.
I think it's nice to have new blood.
So yeah, he's going to be busy, but I mean, he knows the verse well, and people like his
smart
stuff.
Decision.
They like his stuff for the most part. So in that case, I call it a smart move.
From comicbook.com, which, that's the name of the website.
Yep.
Suicide Squad mid-credit scene confirmed. No spoilers here, but when you finish watching Suicide Squad, you'll want to stay in your seats. Now that the film has started screening, we have confirmation that there's a scene in the middle of the credits. After the credit sequence rolls, that's also called the bumper, the part before the plain black and white names and the characters' part rolls. Using the same stylized hypercolored imagery that they've used in the posters and character art, there's one more scene waiting for you on the other side. It's pivotal and important, too. So,
Justice
they
League
don't. Yeah, so I want to know what your thought is on specifically what you think the scene is.
Jesse Eisenberg, Lex Luthor, probably in Arkham. I think they're going to take a visit to Arkham in that mid-credit scene or end-credit scene or whatever it is.
And what are they talking about? More dark side?
No, I think Joker and him are going to be like cellmates or something like that. I don't know. I just think that they're going to have, because this movie is about bad guys versus evil guys, right? So I think they're going to keep it that for the most part. It's either that or it's going to be some Batman stuff, alluding to what's happening with Justice League.
The next movie is Wonder Woman.
After Suicide Squad? Yeah.
And if DC has already made it perfectly clear that they are not in this to copy Marvel, which I think is
smart-ish.
Smart-ish.
Some things you need to take.
You do need to take some pages from the Marvel book.
I mean, Marvel copycatted a lot of their heroes when they wrote the comics out. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, there's some things that you should pull from because they did it right.
Yeah.
And it's not copying if it's a different character. Like, just give us more of what people like.
That being said, I don't think there's a smart way to hype a movie that takes place in World War I in a movie that takes place in current times, I'm assuming.
Sure.
Right?
So I don't think they do Wonder Woman.
So,
although they have set footage revealed from Wonder Woman that has her walking around a city and there's like a Wayne Enterprises thing on like the wall or something like that. So I think Batfleck might actually be in Wonder Woman at some point. Like
maybe closer towards the end.
Yeah, like if at the end of the movie it shows her in present time, like looking at a photograph or something like that. But,
okay. Yeah, well, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's all speculation here.
Okay.
So you want to talk about some quick Marvel news real quick?
Yeah, hit me with Marvel stuff because that's all the Marvel I have until
let's start with
news.
the movie that I'm second most excited about for Marvel coming forward, and that's Black Panther. They brought out Ryan Coogler, the director, who also directed Creed, which I still need to see, but I've heard good things about it. And they revealed some new casting decisions. Obviously, we knew Chadwick Boseman was going to be reprising his role as T'Challa in the Black Panther from Civil War. Andy Serkis is also listed in the movie to reprise his role as Ulysses Klaue from Avengers Age of Ultron.
Dope.
And then we knew Lupita Nyong'o was going to be playing one of the Wakanda ambassadors and stuff like that.
Also Michael B. Jordan, right? Did you say that?
Yeah, that's what I was about to get into.
Cool.
They revealed Michael B. Jordan as the villain of the movie, Eric Killmonger, which is like, he's kind of like Kraven, the hunter kind of. And then they revealed Denai, I might be butchering this name, Denai Gurira from The Walking Dead, the girl with the dreadlocks and stuff like that. She's going to be in this movie too as a warrior from Wakanda.
Okay.
Okoye is the character's name. So I'm pretty excited about this movie. I just think I think the Black Panther was such a good part of Civil War.
Agreed.
And not to get political on it too much, but in the day and age where we have all this racial stuff going on, I think it's smart to keep the groundedness and the characters that you have from Black Panther and not whitewash it at all. So I like what they're doing, and I like all these actors a lot. So I'm really excited about this movie.
It's a really talented list.
Yes, definitely.
I hope that
it's a talented director, too.
Yeah. I hope the writing shows through in this. Marvel, my biggest criticism of Marvel is that they don't take chances. I think Black Panther is a great place to take some chances.
Absolutely.
Since no one is really familiar with this universe aside from hardcore comic book fans.
Sure.
Yes, I love all these people. Totally. Let's go.
All right. So my first favorite that I'm most excited about is Spider-Man Homecoming stuff. So they haven't released the footage online. Yeah. But basically it looks like it's like a coming of age high school movie, but it's Peter Parker, which I'm pretty excited about.
And I'm going to just tip my hat. I'm going to stand up and take a bow because guess who f***ing called it? The Vulture's in this motherfucker.
He got it right.
A lot of curse words right there, but hey.
Give it
Vulture.
to Zach, you know?
I had a feeling, man. Where do you go? You can't. I think it was either going to be Vulture or they were just going to... I guarantee you Norman Osborn's in this movie somewhere.
I still think Michael Keaton is Norman Osborn.
But there's no way Michael Keaton is Vulture. Unless, well...
Birdman?
Yeah, exactly. That would actually be kind of cool if Michael Keaton was Vulture because then he could be true to that character that he played in Birdman.
Birdman, I think Birdman is more of a reflection on his Batman stuff.
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely a reflection on Batman.
But anyway, so just a quick walkthrough what they did. They show him in class. They show his class schedule. schedule. He's taking web design, stuff like that. And that's when he's making his webs while working on a computer and
Web
stuff.
design,
I wish I could see the footage, but yeah, at the end they showed
Yeah.
the vulture shadow. They show him in high school kind of like trying to talk to girls and stuff like that.
I heard something on Reddit where someone tried to post the footage online, and or someone tried to record in the thing, and they got like totally
They
manhandled.
just kind of like tackled by
No!
Luke Cage runs out and just tackles somebody. But what I thought was interesting is what Kevin Feige said is that they're taking a Harry Potter route with Spider-Man. Did you hear this?
No.
So this movie takes place his sophomore year of high school, and then if they do a sequel, it'll be his junior year of high school, and then the third one would be his senior year of high school, and then
cool.
if they do 6 or 7
College.
Spider-Man movies, you move into college and
College
stuff like
years.
that. So basically, this means we're gonna get a lot of Spider-Man because you don't want Tom Holland to get too old too fast. You know what I mean? Like,
It's true.
He's a young-looking guy, so he could probably play a high schooler.
He
for
does
a
have a
while,
baby face.
but it's not like Tobey Maguire, where they're like he's in high school. They're like he's in high school for the
Yeah.
first half hour of the movie, and then he's graduated because that guy looks like he's in college.
He looks way older than college. He looks like my uncle.
Yeah, I mean, by Spider-Man 3, he's like in college and he's working.
Well,
and it looks like he's 30.
That was back in the early 2000s. You know, where they tried to pull that off so many times, like Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
It's like that kid. What was the name of the kid that sat behind him? The big blonde kid. It was like, dude, you are 40. Don't even try to act like you're in high school right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fine. I when you said Harry Potter approach, I thought you meant like magic.
No, Mysterio, the
Yeah.
villain. So yeah, Spider-Man Homecoming, excited about both of those movies. They also did some Guardian stuff. But,
Yeah. What was the Guardian stuff?
they showed a quick reel of Groot, Yondu, and Rocket, like breaking out of like a high security area, and they're like fighting people. And in the video, Yondu doesn't have his arrow that he whistles to kill people with, so they're like being held up against a wall or something like that, and they're having guns pointed at them, and so they're trying to get Baby Groot, who's so small, to sneak past people to go get the arrow out of his bag or something. And so like the whole time Groot's just like being adorable, and they said like the audience is just like loving every minute of it, obviously. So I'm guessing he's going to be a baby in this movie, which I'm super excited about. But he gets the arrow, and then they kill everybody and they leave. So Yondu, they said, is more of like an ally to the Guardians this time around, which I'm excited about because he's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
These boys never eaten Terran before. They tried to eat you. He's a great character. And then they brought out the cast, a lot of people in costume, including Michael Rourke as Yondu, who's wearing the whole thing.
Like the
he's
blue,
painted blue.
yeah, cool.
He's got a new fin on his head that's like huge. It just looks fun, you know?
Cool. I'm excited about it.
And then they revealed, if you guys haven't seen, they revealed Kurt Russell playing Star-Lord's dad, who is a living planet. So I'm hoping it's just a planet with the face of Kurt Russell with the mustache from Hateful Eight.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so
Have mercy
James
on Kurt
Gunn,
Russell.
he loves Comic-Con and he loves the Marvel Universe, and he's going to pull out the most obscure characters that you could think of to bring into his movies, so I'm excited. And they didn't even talk about Nathan Fillion, so I'm hoping they save that for the actual movie. But they did confirm Stallone has a part in the movie as well.
Like a larger role.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
So he's in it.
Interesting.
Like we talked about that a while ago, about rumors of him walking on set. So you got Stallone, Fillion, Kurt Russell, Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, David
Stacked.
Bautista, what's his name? Bradley Cooper, Vin Diesel, Mickey Rourke. Not Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke.
Michael Rourke. Whiplash is in it.
He's back.
I need
Whiplash
my
in space.
bird.
I need my bird.
Get my bird.
This is not bird.
Yeah. So and probably Josh Brolin as Thanos is gonna be in there.
Yeah, probably.
So that's coming out next summer around the time that Wonder Woman will be coming out. So those movies will be fighting in the box office, I'm sure.
I'm gonna say.
Pretty sure they're both May.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next year's gonna be nuts.
Yeah, that was like when Civil War absolutely buried X-Men Apocalypse this May. You know what I mean? It's like, everything they built, well, Captain America.
Hey everyone.
Hey, everyone. Oh, it's so good. Yeah.
All right, so is that all the Marvel stuff?
I think
you got?
that's all the Comic-Con stuff that we
Okay.
got. Oh,
there's some more peppered.
there's some more stuff.
We got some stuff.
Yeah, go check it out.
From Variety.com, Sony has recruited Joe Carnahan to write the latest draft of the script for its adaptation of the popular video game Uncharted. Carnahan, who is also an accomplished director and producer, told Variety that he's unable to also helm unless production is pushed back due to schedule constraints. Bad Boys 3 will be his next direction gig. Production
Right.
on the sequel gears up early next year after Will Smith wraps David Ayer's Bright. Quote, in a perfect world, I would love to do both, but right now I'm only on board to write the script, end quote. Uncharted is an action-adventure film based on the critically acclaimed and top-selling PlayStation video game, which follows the adventures of treasure hunter Nathan Drake.
Nathan!
So, what do you think about that? Bad Boys director writing the Uncharted movie.
I mean, Bad Boys are pretty funny, right?
Yeah.
Those movies are pretty funny. We'll see.
I think it's okay.
We'll see.
I think this movie's just going to be caught in eternal limbo, and I don't think there's really any hope for it.
Yeah, definitely.
From EntertainmentWeekly.com, Game of Thrones, HBO announces summer return, 7 episodes. Summer is coming. HBO is officially confirming just some major changes for Game of Thrones. Season 7 of the fantasy sensation will not return until summer 2017, pushing back from the show's usual strategy of premiering each edition of the series in the spring, typically April. Also, the network is confirming for the first time that next edition will consist of 7 episodes. Plus, HBO added the next season will be shot in Northern Ireland, Spain, and Iceland. It's been a couple years since the Thrones team used Iceland for significant shooting, having primarily used the location for the north of the wall scenes. I'm not going to read this because it could be spoilerific. I also wanted to say that I don't have the article pulled up here, but they did also confirm that season 8 will be the last season of Game of Thrones.
Yes, I saw that.
I think this is great news. I think that
Zach's like, finally, it's over.
Well, because there were rumors of this for the longest time, but I didn't think it was actually true. I thought it was going to be one of those things where someone said, oh, that we can get it done in a shorter amount of time, and then HBO sees the response to season 6, which is critically unbelievable. I'm sure Emmys out the. I mean, you got Maisie Williams just cleaning up in the Emmy department. I think they were going to say like, oh, well, we could do the short thing like we did, but let's pivot really quick and let's do 3 more seasons. 7 episodes each.
Quick Game of Thrones side note.
Sure.
I have a story. It's not a big spoiler because it's something that people knew, like from reading the books. Do you want me to tell you about it?
From
Some
what
guy
book?
has an inside thing about a scene that was supposed to be in season 6 that's awesome that they didn't put in the cut
Let's save it for after the
of
show.
the season. All right, you
Save it
sure?
for after- yes, I'm positive.
It's cool.
I'm positive.
Are you
Save it for after
sure?
the show, yes.
What about you, Radiovanians? You want to hear it?
I don't hear anyone.
I said no. Damn.
From ScreenRant.com, Jurassic World 2 begins filming in February of 2017. Hollywood has seen a number of returns to classic franchises in recent years. Blah, 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 blah.
Ghostbusters.
Oh, one of the classic Ghostbusters. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you got Ghostbusters.
Considering the film's box office returns, which quickly surpassed $1 billion, Universal gave the green light to Jurassic World 2 with an expected release date of 2018 and much of the cast returning. Those left alive after the dinosaur attack, that is. Now, a new report confirms filming on Jurassic World 2 will begin early in 2017 to meet the movie's 2018 date.
Verizon Wireless presents the Indominus Rex. So much.
Do we have any hope for this sequel?
Is Trevorrow directing it again?
So, yes.
I'm going to give it hope because I want episode 9 to be good.
Yes.
So I'm going to support this bastard. This bastard Colin. Make a good movie.
Please don't let us down, Colin.
Seriously, like you have the best franchise in your hands. If you ruin the climax, I'm going to punch you where the sun don't shine. That's all I have to say about Jurassic World. I like dinosaurs, so I'll pay to see it.
Okay.
Chris Pratt, he's cool.
From FlickeringMyth.com, J.J. Abrams reveals that Chris Hemsworth will return as George Kirk in Star Trek IV. Back in May, it was announced that Paramount had already started development on a 4th entry in its relaunched Star Trek franchise, despite the fact that we're still a few days away from the release of the latest chapter, Star Trek Beyond. Naturally, there are very few details available on Star Trek IV at the present. Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto are said to be locked in for a return, and according to Scott Mantz of Access Hollywood, it seems we can add another name to that
Mantz
cast.
man. I love Scott Mantz.
Man.
Have you ever listened to him
No.
on Movie Fights?
No.
Dude, I'll have to show you a clip afterwards.
Okay.
Scott Mantz, I love you. You have a distinct voice, dude. Very distinct. He's funny, though.
So, it says it could possibly appear in flashbacks. How do you feel about this? Do you think this is a smart decision?
I think since Chris Hemsworth has a big credibility now as Thor, I think it's cool. You can play into the whole time traveling aspect, which they've done in Star Trek before. So, yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Okay.
I like Chris Hemsworth a lot. He's a beautiful man. What's not to like?
That is true. What is not to like?
That distinct jawline not enough for you? How about those muscles? How about those abs?
I think there's a danger in this because it could remove some of the magic of the beginning of Star Trek 2009, which is really one of the most powerful opening scenes in a movie ever.
That launched that dude's career.
That scene is amazing.
It's a great scene.
That's
a good movie.
A great opening to a freaking movie. God. I hope they don't. Well, we haven't seen Star Trek 3 yet. I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be fun.
I've heard Beyond is good.
Yeah, me too.
I heard it's a lot of like Fast and Furious element stuff.
I've heard people say that they like it better than Into Darkness, but I liked Into Darkness a lot.
Well, then there's only one way to find out.
I know, exactly.
Let's go see it.
2 quick stories really quick before we move on to some Star Wars news. 2 announcements from Sonic Team and Sega at SDCC, which I thought was really fascinating. Project Sonic 2017 debut trailer, which is a 3D Sonic, very reminiscent of Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Sonic. It's from the same team that brought you Sonic Colors and Sonic Generations. The trailer goes by in a blur. Ha 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 ha. There's a large,
fast.
Yeah. There's a giant robot attacking some sort of city. In the darkest of times, you got a blue freaking hedgehog. He gears up, he starts running, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, boom, classic Sonic. So it's going to be, I'm assuming it's going to be more of a darker game with a story, but it's going to fuse the element from Sonic Generations, which is classic Sonic and new Sonic kind of teaming up. Whatever. Who really cares? But the big news, which I need you to stand up and walk over here for,
sure,
is at the end of the trailer, it says, Join the Resistance Holiday 2017, PS4, Xbox One, NX, and PC. So this is the first trailer. This is the 3rd confirmed game for the NX, along with Just Dance 3, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and now Project Sonic 2017. You get a good look at that logo? Because we're going to talk about that in a few seconds. The other thing I wanted to bring up really quick is Sonic Mania, which is the 25th anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog. It's a new 2D Sonic game, remix stages, new stuff like this. It looks actually really, really good.
Oh, wow.
Classic 16-bit graphics, reimagined classic stages, also some new places. There's like a casino level. Animations look spectacular, and it's coming to PS4. It's coming to Xbox. I'm excited to play this. I think it looks great. I mean, like, Sonic games are not great. They're just fun. They're fun games. Whatever. So we'll see about this one. But there you go. Sonic the Hedgehog. Mm-hmm. All right, Star Wars.
Woo!
Ready, John?
Right.
We're almost done.
Definitely ready.
We're moving through this thing. From Gizmodo, Grand Admiral Thrawn joins Rebels and the new Star Wars canon. So I'm not going to read the article, but it's been updated that Timothy Zahn is writing a new Star Wars novel titled, wait for it, Thrawn, due out in 2017. So I'm excited about this. I think Thrawn is a really cool character, and I think
fantastic character.
His inclusion back into the Star Wars universe can only mean good things.
This just goes to show you that fans relentlessly pounding on your door for you to do something can pay off, because people have been begging for him to be brought back into the canon since they revealed that he wasn't in the canon. He's a great villain. This is awesome because, like you said, we get a novel by Zahn, a great writer. He's going to be in the Rebels show, which is a great, precursor to what could potentially become a movie that he could be in, which would be awesome. So, I want Benedict Cumberbatch to play him in a movie.
Benedict, Doctor. That'd be great.
Right? Doctor Strange.
Yeah, totally. Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
From Entertainment Online, etonline.com, whatever this website is. Exclusive, Kathleen Kennedy and Gareth Edwards tease Rogue One opening crawl. See what they said. And over here, we got, quote, we're in the midst of talking about it, but I don't think these films will have an opening crawl, Kennedy said of the possibility that Rogue One would include this familiar Star Wars trope. Quote, I think that's what we kind of telegraphed at the beginning of the event today. End quote. How do you feel about this, John?
I think that since John Williams isn't scoring the film, I think it makes sense that you don't have... I know they own the music, but I think it's only fair that you don't have the fanfare at the beginning with the crawl. I think it makes these distinct from the saga films, too, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, me too. From Twitter.com, from the Star Wars UK Twitter, it says, quote, This movie is going to start right where the last one left off, end quote, from Ryan Johnson on episode 8, hashtag future filmmaker panel at SWCE.
I think we all knew that.
I think this is kind of a letdown to me.
Really?
I was hoping it would take place just a little bit longer. I think it's going to be really,
That's the problem with doing a cliffhanger like that in Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that they'll do it justice, but I'm worried that I think it would be super freaking lame if the movie opens up with Rey still holding the lightsaber. You know what I mean?
I'd bet you that's how it opens up.
Oh, that's so lame.
It's either that or it opens up.
So lame.
It's either that or it opens up on Luke, which I can see them doing that.
I just think it's such a lame. That's a cop. It's such a cop out.
Here's what my question is. Every Star Wars movie opens with the scrolling thing, and it pans out from space to a planet. So it can't start the second there where she's holding the lightsaber because you have to scroll down to a planet and a ship flying to a planet. So that might not be the beginning of the movie.
Well, I don't think it's going to be the first thing you see.
That's where that storyline's going to take off.
No.
I think the movie's going to open with the First Order rolling up on the Resistance doorsteps, and they're like, yo, Phasma. She kills a bunch of people.
Just like that?
Absolutely like that.
Sound effects by John Parker.
Call me Industrial Light and Magic.
I just think one of the coolest things about the transition from A New Hope to Empire was that you see the rebels in a completely different environment.
Right.
You see them on Hoth.
Yeah.
I want that.
Yeah, I know.
Want that so bad. I want that reveal of Poe and Finn working together to take down something to be so freaking, because when their heads pop out of the thing or whatever and they're hanging out and they're buddy cop, I want that so bad. And then
he's going to be in a coma at the beginning of the movie.
No, that's so dumb. Have him I want him awake at the very beginning.
What if it's Lost and it opens up with the eye? He opens up and everybody's getting shot around him. He's like, whoa! Joy, please. No, I mean, I think we knew that that's how it's going to happen. Whether or not we like it or not, it's not up to us.
Yeah, that's
true. At least we're getting Star Wars movies.
That's true.
Did you watch the Celebration reel?
I haven't watched.
No.
Yes, I have watched the
it's pretty cool.
Rogue One trailer. Yeah, it's fine.
Standouts for me was the stormtroopers walking in the beach. I thought that was cool. But otherwise, it's kind of like the other Comic-Con one that they did for The Force Awakens. But I've noticed that now that it's happened, I'm not as in I don't cry when I watch the Rogue One thing. I'm just like, wow, that looks really cool.
Well, let's wait to see the Episode 8.
Well, Episode 8 will be different because I'm already attached to those characters. You know what I mean? And that's what I think helped with the Comic-Con one for Force Awakens, because they do the marker thing and it's R2D2, and I was like, oh god, it's R2D2. But this one's just oh wow, AT-ATs, wow, this is cool.
Yeah. From @StarWarsGames on Twitter, just really quick, Bosk and Chewbacca are coming to Star Wars Battlefront's Death Star DLC.
Bosk is a cool character, dude.
It's so fun. Bosk and Dengar are the DLC characters.
Dengar was lame, but Bosk is Bosk is a fan favorite.
Lamer than
Bosk is a fan favorite, dude. And I still haven't played Bestman tonight. You want to play Bestman tonight?
Sure. You have it?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I mean, I have the season pass. I just haven't touched that game since Uncharted came out. I want to play as I'll be Dengar, you be Bosk.
That's all I gotta say.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
I know,
because I think DLC 4 is gonna be Rogue One. So
it is.
It's going to be
from Polygon.com. Rogue One is Star Wars Battlefront's 4th DLC pack.
Oh wow, I'm psychic.
Rogue One Scarif will be the 4th and final expansion of Star Wars Battlefront and will launch sometime this winter, around the time of the spin-off film Electronic Arts announced today at Star Wars Celebration 2016. A few other details were given, but director Krennic, the Imperial antagonist shown in the trailers, will feature in the expansion as a playable character.
You play as him?
Scarif is
Have you seen his cape?
Scarif is a new world in the Star Wars universe and the scene of a major battle in Rogue One. The film's creators discussed the new locale and why it was chosen in a panel yesterday. So, people have been calling this one for a while. I think this was pretty obvious. But yeah, how do you feel about that? Director Krennic? The Chronic?
Director Chronic
would be
a lot cooler, and I kind of wish that they were doing that instead. I don't like him as a playable character. I'm cool with one of the rebels being a playable character,
unless he just wows us in Rogue One.
Yeah, and he's really mobile and stuff. I'm just saying, look at that cape, right? I'm sorry, but yeah,
look at that cape.
Girl, look at that body. Oh. I work out. Although they did This is another Rogue One thing. Did you see that they haven't released it, but it got leaked somewhere about a trailer? Like an actual other trailer? Because, we've had the teaser and then a Comic-Con reel, but they have a theatrical trailer for Rogue One. So be on the lookout for that. I don't know.
I'm sure that's going to hit pretty soon.
All I know is I heard that there was a certain someone in there that we've all been hoping to hear about.
That's kind of lame.
Yep.
But
they don't. What I heard is that they don't show him.
They just hear the voice.
Which is perfect.
Oh, wait, I saw it. It was leaked.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
okay.
about. I haven't seen it.
I've seen it.
Can we watch it later?
Yeah, sure. The footage I saw was shitty AF.
Okay.
Like,
cool.
really bad. Really bad.
It's probably just... another Star Wars news topic. I don't know if you have it on
Keep
there.
it rolling.
About Han Solo.
No.
They have officially revealed at Celebration who was playing Han Solo in the
Well, we had
anthology
that
film.
story confirmed a while ago, but
Right,
they brought him out.
him out. So Alden...
And Renreich.
I
think is how you pronounce his name.
which you said he was
Aaron
good.
Reich. I think it's Aaron Reich.
Aaron Reich, which you said was good in Hail Caesar.
Yes, he's totally funny, totally charismatic guy. I heard his, whatever he said at the panel was good. I didn't watch the whole thing. Did you?
I did not.
Okay. I heard that he made a good appearance, talked well, spoke highly of the project. And
So at first I was skeptical because obviously, as you all know, I'm a huge fan of Han Solo.
maybe the biggest I know.
Probably. I'm excited that they're going with people who aren't super well known. I think that's what Star Wars does best. Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Harrison Ford, and its time Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, stuff like that. So I'm excited. He does look the part. When they brought him out, he started to grow his hair out to look like a New Hope Han Solo, and I was like, he does really look like Han Solo. I'm guessing they're probably going to use the guy who's in the suit of Chewbacca in The Force Awakens, that tall Scandinavian dude or whatever, who sounds really cool. I wish I was him. Like, if you just have to stand there and hang out with Harrison Ford, count me in. I'm game. I just don't like the fingers in The Force Awakens.
Oh, yeah, they're like
Chewy
teddy bear fingers.
I was like, God, they look like sausage. Anyway, regardless of that, so I'm excited about this. Obviously, we know Chewie will probably be in there, but besides that, this is the perfect time to make some new characters. Like, maybe you'll have them talk about Jabba, or maybe, but like, don't be like, it's Han Solo, Chewie, Lando, Boba Fett, like all these people that we already know. Like, this is a time that you can expand the universe.
Tell a different story.
So I'm excited about that, and I'm hoping that, like, I think that it would be interesting if the story's like, how did he get the Falcon? How did he meet Chewbacca? Like, what if he starts out and he's riding like public transportation and he's just like, I hate this shit. That'd be awesome. So I'm actually really excited about this now.
Yeah.
I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I think Disney knows what they're doing.
I'm excited but skeptical. I think Alden Ehrenreich is a great pick. If there was going to be someone to play Han Solo, I think the people. It was a pipe dream saying Chris Pratt, and I think that would have totally been.
I think that would have killed it though.
It would have been an easy way.
Well known,
yeah, it would have been an easy way out. That wouldn't have been as sad.
And so if this guy kills it as Han, cast him as Indiana Jones.
He's only in Hail Caesar for maybe 15 minutes. His part is really funny. Like, the dude is like authentically a funny man, and I'm interested to see how his humor translates because.
So I'm pulling up. There's a picture of him in Boyega at Celebration. Like, he does kind of look like Han Solo, like Harrison was in the 70s.
Yeah,
like,
he does have the hair.
Style,
The hair is definitely.
And that there were. Dude, I love Star Wars so much. I'm ready. I'm ready for as much as you can give me.
Well, I hope you're ready for this because this. Oh shit! I was gonna have it ready.
Dead air, dead air, dead air, dead air. Batman.
Batman. We're moving on to our topic of the show, Nintendo NX. John, what the living hell is the Nintendo NX?
Well, funny you should ask, Zach. It is a console that is come out of Star Trek, the original series.
It's a humanoid, sort of the living life form.
It's a thing.
Runs on nuclear power.
Apparently, yeah. Probably gives you cancer.
So you're a Eurogamer, published by Tom Phillips on the 26th of July, 2016, got the scoop, the first official scoop on what exactly the Nintendo NX is. So sit back, relax. I'm going to read this article because it's incredibly fascinating, and I want full opinions, and I have some thoughts and questions I want to ask you about this motherfucking console.
Wow.
Yeah, sorry about
Already? That. Okay. I'm just going to go to the timer page because I'm going to have to be writing down a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Nintendo's upcoming NX will be a portable, handheld console with detachable controllers. A number of sources have confirmed to Eurogamer. On the move, NX will function as a high-powered handheld console with its own display. So far, so normal, but here's a twist. We've heard the screen is bookended by 2 controller sections on either side, which can be attached or detached as required. Then, when you get home, the system can connect to your TV for gaming on the big screen. A base unit or dock station is used to connect the brain of the NX within the controller to a display on your TV. For more on the console's power, Digital Foundry has a deep dive into the look at the chip Nintendo has chosen as the centerpiece of the NX, according to numerous well-placed sources, NVIDIA's powerful Tegra mobile processor. NX will use game cartridges as its choice of physical media, multiple sources have also told us. Considering NX's basis as a handheld first and foremost, the choice may not come as too much of a surprise. Although, we have heard the suggestion that Nintendo recommends a 32GB cartridge, which is small when considering the size of many modern games. Naturally, we expect digital game downloads will also be available. We were told Nintendo considered but then decided against making a system which supported digital downloads only. It's not the first time cartridge-based media has been mooted for NX. Back in May, eagle-eyed fans spotted The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild's trademark included cartridge-based game, which is a story we reported on about a month or two ago.
Sure.
This was a change from Nintendo's usual wording for home console trademarks, which only refer to digital downloads and discs. Due to the radical change in hardware design and internal technology, we've been told by one source that there are no plans for backwards compatibility. Another source said the system would run on a new operating system from Nintendo. It won't. Contrary to some earlier rumors, simply run on Android. Inside the NX, as stated above, the system will harness NVIDIA's powerful mobile processor Tegra. Graphical comparisons with current consoles are difficult due to the vastly different nature of the device. But once again, we've heard Nintendo is not chasing graphical parity. Quite the opposite. It's sacrificing power to ensure it can squeeze all of this technology into a handheld, something which also tallies with earlier reports. Finally, we've heard from one source that the NX planning has recently moved up a gear with Nintendo ahead of the console's unveiling, which is currently slated for September. After the confused PR fiasco of the Wii U launch and the rest of its life, the company is already settling on a simple marketing message for the NX of being able to take your games with you on the go. Nintendo always designs its hardware to show off specific game concepts, and it will remain to be seen how the system will showcase the next Mario or even an NX version of Zelda Breath of the Wild. The only first-party games confirmed so far may differ when played on the device. Previously, however, we've heard reports of various Wii U games reappearing as updated NX ports. Splatoon and Smash Bros. Have both been mooted, and then there's Pikmin 4, which Shigeru Miyamoto confirmed to Eurogamer just over a year ago. Otherwise, several third parties have announced their plans for the system, which you can read about, as well as proposed release plans in our piece that rounds up everything we know about the NX so far. So you can go to Eurogamer and read that. It's a really fascinating look. Quote, Nintendo has not made any new official announcements regarding NX, which is due to launch in March of 2017, end quote. A Nintendo spokesperson told Eurogamer when contacted about this story. Quote, as such, we're unable to comment on various rumors and speculations that are circulating. End quote. All right. So this is the NX. Ordinarily, I don't like to think that rumors are exactly what you should base your ideas on, but this is something we've heard for a very long time to be in the works. It's ideas that have been circulating around. It sounds like a Nintendo-ass idea. And this has basically been confirmed to Eurogamer via various different sources. They're a very prestigious games journalism website. They don't publish when they're not able to actually publish something true. So you can pretty much take this to the bank that this is the Nintendo NX. And since I've talked for a bit, John, while I gather my upcoming thoughts and questions, I want to know to you, how do you feel about the Nintendo NX?
I don't know what to think about this. The whole cartridge thing, which I know they've been talking about, is interesting because, they obviously have the 3DS plays cartridges because it's a portable game,
yes.
And some of those look really good.
And technically SD cards are cartridges.
Yeah, and some of them don't look good.
Not at all.
32 gigs is not a lot amount of space, but when talking about Nintendo games, that's kind of what they run on now anyway. And we've talked about that before, where you like compare a Zelda game that runs on 20 gigs to like Uncharted that runs on 50.
Jesus, or Batman. Like the download size for Batman is like 60, 70 gigs.
So like I don't know really what they're trying to compete with besides the fact that it's like, yeah, you could take your games anywhere, which is cool. But then you talk about like controllers detaching from the side and like how does it play on the TV and like how big are the controllers and like can you buy multiple? Like how does multiplayer factor into this whole thing? There's a lot of questions that I have that I'm hoping will be revealed when Nintendo reveals it in September.
I think they got a fire under their ass, man. I think that if this goes to show anything, it's that like they've got to make a move. This console comes out in March. We know more about Episode 8 than we know about the NX. Like, I'm not saying that they're the same thing, but it's like, what are they thinking? This should have been at E3. This would have been so... I don't know. Maybe they just aren't ready at all, or maybe this thing's still in mass production, or they don't have a good demo for it, or whatever. Or maybe they're working on a bunch of launch games. I don't know. But you can't launch a console with Just Dance, which I don't even think is going to be a launch game. So you can't launch the thing with Zelda, and that's it. You could do a remastered Smash Brothers, you could do a remastered Splatoon, but that's two old games and a new game, and those are the only three things we know about aside from Sonic in 2017 and Just Dance in 2017.
Probably there's got to be a Mario release in there somewhere.
You would assume that you would open straight out the gate with Mario Galaxy 3 or Super Mario Sunshine 2 or something
Mario
new.
Party Sunshine?
Yeah, Mario Party. Exactly. That's an old one. Haven't talked about that one in a while.
Because it doesn't exist.
My first big bullet point on this is how will games transfer? So they've already talked about how this thing is not backwards compatible, or they don't assume it's going to be backwards compatible. What specifically do they mean? Am I going to have to rebuy all my virtual console games? Because if I have to, that's seriously that's getting too much.
Yeah.
That's too much. Understanding, like...
You do have an SD card on your Wii U, though, that you can hopefully just plug into your NX and re-download everything.
That's true, but if digital download games... If they're saying backwards compatibility, period, is not a thing, I would assume that means virtual console games...
Which would suck.
Yes,
yeah.
Which would terribly, terribly suck. But the Wii U can play Wii games and Wii U games. If this thing can't play Wii or Wii U games, and you have to rebuy every Wii U game...
Or Wii game.
Nintendo lives on the base of Nintendo fans. That's the problem with the Wii U, is that they're failing because you can't support a console based on only fans of your console. It's why you can't have the PlayStation 4 only run on Uncharted 4 and Bloodborne and whatever else you have, because that's not enough units that you're moving to have a console that actually matters to anyone in a large scale.
Hence the remastered.
Exactly. And that's what you're talking about with those small size game files, is how in the world are they're not going to get the next Batman game. They're not going to get The Witcher 4.
They're only playing to their strengths.
Exactly.
Which is the properties that they own, which is not a winning game.
No, it's not.
But people will buy it because that's the only place you can get it.
People will buy it, but they'll only buy... I'm thinking about the market that's been burned on the Wii U.
Yeah.
And also... My next big bullet point, which segues perfectly, is how is Nintendo going to spin this news for people who are current dedicated handheld players? The 3DS is killing sales-wise. Yeah. That thing is murdering in the US, in Japan, in all these different territories. How are they going to convince people to spend another, however much it's going to be, which I'm saying right now, soft $349 to $399 on another handheld that is not as powerful as the PlayStation 4 that they already have hooked up in their living room?
Because I'm not going to want to go on a trip and carry a 3DS to play Pokemon and an NX that plays Zelda.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's the idea of taking Zelda on the go is brilliant, but...
Right. Like, console Zelda on the go is great.
Sure.
But they did that on the 3DS. Like, obviously it wasn't as good, but those are console games. Like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask.
Oh,
and you can play that on the 3DS.
That's a
so
console
like it's not like
time.
wow, console Zelda, you know.
When people think console, though, I'm thinking 2016 console.
Sure.
Right?
That's
like
fine.
a console, Majora's Mask is a virtual console game. It's not a console game, and that's air quotations there. But, like, yeah. What do you think about price? Give me your thoughts on price.
Yeah, I think $350 sounds about right.
$350.
Yeah, I'd go $350 to $400.
And there were two price points for the Wii U at launch, right? It was the white and the black.
No, I think it was only black.
It was only black at launch.
Yeah, I think it was whether you got it bundled with a certain game or not.
Okay.
I thought one came with.
No, it can't be because they had the lower sized one, and then because the black one has more internal storage space and the white one has less.
Oh,
so
okay.
they had to have 2 SKUs at launch.
Okay.
I'm thinking 1 SKU, and I think it's either going to be $349 or $399. I don't think that they're going to do the Wii U thing because, like they're saying here, let's scroll down to the thing. Say Batman again.
Batman.
Yeah. After the confused PR fiasco of the Wii U launch, the company's already settling on a simpler marketing message for the NX of being able to take your games with you on the go. Now, I think that is smart. That's one of the first smart things I've heard in this article because the Wii U is complicated. How do you explain that to someone that's not... The Wii was such a success because it was easy to explain. You have a wand that you wave and it's motion games, right? Yeah. You play tennis and you can wave your thing. You play bowling, right? This is saying like, hey, you like New Zelda? Take it with you on the train. You like go on a road trip, fly across the U.S.
And when you
play
get to your
on
hotel, you can plug it in the TV.
Exactly.
Which is kind of cool.
It's a very cool idea. Another thing, though, that I want to shout out to GameScoop, podcast at IGN.com. You go to youtube.com/GameScoop to read up and watch all their content. They're a great podcast. They brought up the great idea that I didn't even think of off the first bat, which is battery life. How in the world is this thing going to last more than 2 hours if it's running console quality games on a screen that could be touch?
It's a cartridge, though. It's not a disc.
No, it's not a disc,
but saves on time.
But it's still HD. If they're going for an HD 1080p, right 720p.
How long does the PlayStation Vita last?
2 to 3 hours.
Does that play discs?
No, it plays cartridges.
Okay, it'll be like that then.
I think so, but like the Vita came out 4 years ago. I mean, this is hardware that's running on current stuff. So unless the battery is just and like, do you see the concept arts here? Like, hook your head around. Like, if that is sort of what we're dealing with, that's a small thing. I mean, that my phone is probably. I have an iPhone 6s Plus, and this thing is the screen is about the same size.
I think it's gonna be the size of that.
Hand me the gamepad real quick. I want to compare screen size. You're good. Don't worry about it. John's getting up with it.
You want to compare dick size?
All right, so I got this thing right here. So my phone roughly fits inside of the screen size on the Wii U gamepad. So imagine like this right here with this screen, and then these two sides of the thing detaching via micro USB.
When I looked at the concept art, I was literally like, "This is a gamepad that can
break apart,
work as a transformer."
Does it talk like Megatron?
I hope it tops like Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
Nintendo fans, sorry.
One shall stand, one shall fall. So we talked about price. Games transferring. How will they spin this for current dedicated gamers? What are the launch games? We talked about that. We think Mario. You think you come out the gate with a Mario game? Zelda?
What kind of Mario game you think?
I think a 3D Mario. I think it's been way too long. The last proper 3D Mario game was Galaxy 2, and that was on the Wii.
What about 3D World?
I wouldn't necessarily count that.
It was a 3D Mario game.
Yeah, but it was more along
top
the lines
down.
of... Yeah, top down. I guess. So, yeah, okay.
But that
so
was 3 years ago.
It's still, yeah.
Yeah. I would go... I think you're on the nose. I think it would be a party game before a 3D Mario game.
Okay.
So I think they're going to lead out with Zelda as the front runner, obviously. And then you talked about Dance, whatever it's called, Just Dance. And then I would go with like a Zelda party game. And then there's going to be some non-Nintendo property games will be coming out with that too. You know what I mean? Maybe a Metroid game down the line. That
is a Nintendo property, and they've already announced that they've soft announced that there's Metroid stuff in the works. This year, I think is I could be wrong, but I think this is the 25th anniversary of Metroid this year.
The original?
Yeah, and the only thing that they're using to promote that is the Metroid Federation Force, which is the 4-player co-op 3DS game.
Oh my god.
Which so many people are clamoring for. So I don't know about this, man. I think that this is one of the most fascinating things to happen to video games in a long time with the NX, and I think that this console launch is going to be so fascinating to see what exactly happens. And when when they do come out and they say like, hey, this Friday we're going to have the Nintendo stream, and you get to watch the unveiling of the Nintendo NX. I'm there with popcorn and soda because I want to see
with alcohol.
Oh yeah. A shot for every time someone says, "Please be excited." And I just want to know if this, because when they first show this thing, we're going to know if it's going to be a train wreck or a success. Because if it's a success, it hinges on the fact that it's cool for people, because there are
now what if it's
20-something million PS4s out there. You have to convince some of them to buy this.
What if it's like this NES thing that they're coming out with this fall that's preloaded
That's the
with
next
30
story.
games? What if the NX comes out with those games already loaded onto it digitally?
That's a smart call. I think that that's a really good idea to say, like, hey, if you buy this and you're an early adopter...
You get 30 classic games, and it comes bundled with Zelda.
Sure. I think that's totally a smart move to go, because then those are totally games you can take on the go. Like Castlevania, Double Dragon, Dr. Mario, you can take those on the go.
Zelda 2, all 3 of the Marios.
I think that's a great idea. And since they're selling the Nintendo...
Or not Zelda 2, that was
Yeah.
SNES, right? Or was it? No, it was NES.
Which one? What are you talking?
Zelda 2 Adventure
Zelda
of
2?
Link.
Yeah, that's NES.
Yeah, that would be on there too.
That is on the list of games that is on the
Which I'm
NES
buying.
Classic.
NES Classic, can't wait.
Yeah. Really excited
Unless
about that.
they announce before that comes out that it's all going to be on the NX, then I can wait.
Well, so you get the Balloon Fight, Bubble Bobble, Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest, shout out, Donkey Kong Jr., Double Dragon 2, Dr. Mario, Excite Bike, Final Fantasy, the original, Galaga, Ghosts and Goblins, Gradius, Ice Climber, Kid Icarus, Kirby's Adventure, Mario Bros, Mega Man 2, Metroid, Ninja Gaiden, Pac-Man, Punch-Out featuring Mr. Dream, Star Tropic, Super C, Super Mario Bros, Super Mario Bros 2, Super Mario Bros 3, Tecmo Bowl, The Legend of Zelda, and Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. When you buy the classic NES, or what are they calling this thing?
Well, that was just NES Classic.
NES Classic. You get 2 controllers.
Perfect.
And
$6.99 or $59.99.
Yeah, $60.
That's great.
And additional NES controllers will set you back $10 each, which is actually cheaper than I would have assumed.
Yeah.
The
and it's
thing
HDMI.
is like this big.
Yeah.
It's like fits in the palm of your hand.
That's
basically. You can hold
amazing.
it.
It's a great
cool.
idea.
It's a totally great nostalgic idea. You put this in like stores and around holidays. It's totally a nostalgia throwback there for you. But well, yeah. So I don't know, man. I just don't know.
Who really knows?
Nintendo is in
Miyamoto,
such
that's
an
who knows.
interesting.
He's
Miyamoto.
laughing his ass off in Japan. Can't wait for these guys to see what I got coming.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, I've been reading Console Wars by Blake J. Harris. It's a fantastic book, really well written, and it tells the story of when Sega was coming out with the Dreamcast and the Nintendo was coming out with the SNES, and it's about this whole competition about basically who had the biggest in terms of video games and like who can make the better game, who makes the game that sells the most copies. And for a while there, it is written from the perspective that, and I know the author's trying to give a true to form story, but it really does feel like Nintendo is this Goliath that will never come down. And now you look at it, and it's who knows what the NX is, and everyone's speculating about this
Playing
thing.
fourth fiddle behind PC gaming.
It really is. It's the back of the line. You got PlayStation heads the front right now. They're winning. Xbox is probably close second because of their online infrastructure, and they have good IP. They have Halo and Gears.
On Windows 10 and Xbox Go.
Windows 10 and Xbox exclusive. Xbox One. And then I'd say, yeah, PC, and you got handheld gaming, which is, I think, another thing is that I think handheld gaming is slowly dying off. I love mobile gaming. I love my Vita. My 3DS is fine. I've got a few games on it that I like to play from time to time, but for me personally, they are really going to have to spin this for me to buy this on day one. Because eventually I'm going to want to play Breath of the Wild, but is it enough for me to spend $459
when you can just suffer through it on the Wii U?
Yeah. Or just wait until it's $20 in a sale bin. It's just,
it's a PlayStation 4 game.
Oh, exactly. So I'm excited for them to finally tell me what this is, but I'm so worried about the possibilities of this for Nintendo. But it's going to be an interesting ride. That's all I got to say.
Sure.
So, John, that was our big topic of the week. We're at an hour and 24 minutes. What do you want to do? How you feeling? You got some comic book shop talk you want to go through?
I got a couple comic book stuff going on.
Why don't we... So tonight I think we're going to record a movie commentary for everyone that's excited out there, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
I know I am.
Oh,
that movie
Lord have mercy.
Is a train wreck.
Oh, yeah. So we're gonna try to cut this episode just a little bit under so we don't go way too long. But
sure.
Hit me with your comic book shop talk.
Yeah, so comic shop talk for this episode. There's been a lot of comics that have come out since Zach and I last recorded an actual news show.
It's been a long time.
So I'm not going to go into too much depth with everything. Basically, Rebirth is just kicking on all cylinders. Batman's good. Superman's still the same. Wonder Woman is
So
good.
you haven't had any more change in the Superman thing? You were not super...
Still not pleased.
Yeah, still not.
But Action Comics is kind of cool. He's just beating the shit out of Doomsday in the middle of a city. Wonder Woman is cool right now. Flash I'm not big on. Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps is cool because I like Hal Jordan a lot as the Green Lantern. He's one of my favorite DC characters, so they brought him back. So that's pretty sweet.
Okay.
A lot of other side stuff. Scooby Apocalypse, very good. I've been reading that, and that's fun.
How many issues are they up to?
3.
Okay.
Yeah. Marvel. Civil War 2 is going on right now, and we've talked about this before when I told you about the first couple of issues. Iron Man versus Captain Marvel. Defend the future versus change the future. This kid can see in the future, he can see events, and they want to use that, to kind of like manipulate what's going to go on, or at least half of the team does. So it's dividing the Avengers, the X-Men, the Inhumans, and all this stuff. Issue 3 had a very huge, not cataclysmic is the wrong word, but it is a big event that went down. I'm not going to go into depths with it because it's really spoilery for those of you that are reading. I do recommend reading this run, though. Brian Michael Bendis is writing it right now. I was telling Zach I actually like it more than the original Civil War run by Mark Millar.
That's a bold statement.
I know. And I don't know why, but I think it's the attitude of Captain Marvel versus the attitude of Tony Stark is very interesting, as opposed to the tree planted in the ground of Steve Rogers versus Tony Stark. Because Steve Rogers is arrogant and in a way of like he's just kind of you can't see like emotions and stuff like that as well with him. I think Carol Danvers is a great opposite to Tony Stark in this war, so that's why I really like it. But it's including Guardian stuff like that. It's really good. There's a huge event which I don't really want to spoil because I want you to read it, but I will say that I'm confused as to what Marvel's going forward with because they're changing a lot of things in a way of killing off beloved characters or changing them. Thor is a woman now. I don't know where the actual Thor went, but now it's a woman. Obviously, they're writing out Wolverine in way of X-23, but they have Old Man Logan going on at the same time. The X-Men is like... They're all over the place. Like sure. Magneto has an X-Men team, and so does Storm, and Charles is gone, and I don't know what Cyclops is doing. And Guardians is good. I recommend reading that. But Civil War 2, I just wanted to talk about it a little bit just because I want people to get involved with it because I do think this is a big comic event going on right now, even bigger than what Rebirth was, which Rebirth was one 80-page comic book that reset this new... Wow, voice crack. Ooh. That reset this new thing. Whereas Civil War I think they said it's like 8 to 12 issues, and we're only on issue 4. It's going to be a prolonged story that I think is going to have a huge effect on what goes on with Marvel going forward. So if you're confused about what's going on with Marvel now, you should be keeping up with this. That way you don't get more confused, basically. Okay. But it's good. I like the artwork a lot, and I like the writing so far. But it's just... I was actually really upset when I read issue 3 because they... did something that I wasn't too happy about, but not that, like, it wasn't like, oh, I hate that.
It wasn't a life-altering
It was
thing.
sad. It was, that's all I have to say about that. But yeah, it was cool. We talked a little bit about Long Halloween earlier, which is a great Batman book. What I'm looking forward to do in a future comic shop that I want you to join in on now that you've read some Batman stuff is I want to talk about Batman. And that might even be a single show in itself. But I want to talk about Batman stories because I've read a lot recently and over, my course of my comic career, if you will. And I think that we could have a really interesting talk about that sometime too. So
yeah, that'd be a great idea for a podcast.
That's all I wanted to talk about. Comic shop. go check out Civil War 2. It's a big deal. If you're not a big fan of it, I could see why, but I am, and I think I recommend it. So go check it out.
Cool. All right, well.
An hour and a half. Clocking in.
Not bad. I think we did all right.
Yeah.
It was shorter than I expected it to be. I figured we'd clock in around hour 45 or something like that. So
it's because we skipped talking about Thor, Ragnarok.
Oh, that's right, we did.
Yeah.
What is there to talk about?
They just revealed production
okay,
stills.
Yeah.
The Planet Hulk is in full
screen,
effect.
the title card that looks like an Atari game.
Yeah, and Thor v Hulk is coming. I guess this is part 2.
A lot of people saying it's close to Planet Hulk.
Yeah.
Lots of those similarities.
Yeah, they said that Hulk's got like it's gonna be sweet, dude.
I'm excited.
Yeah, and
I'm
your boy Jeff Goldblum's in there, Carl Urban. They said Kate Blanchett looks very scary as the villain.
Cool.
So that's exciting.
I'm hoping they go for a really different tone.
I'm hoping it's good because I liked the first one. Dark World sucked. Not as bad as Iron Man 2, but I did not like Dark World a whole lot.
Didn't think it was great, but I didn't hate it. I thought it had some redeemable qualities.
I mean, there's no Marvel Cinematic Universe movie that I've hated. Like, there's something that has redeemable qualities to all of them.
Eric Bana's Hulk.
That's not an MCU movie. Because, see, I could throw that out, too. X-Men Origins Wolverine. I hate that movie.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Thor Ragnarok. It's coming out, kids. Check it out. If you want to know what Planet Hulk is, go read the storyline. It's a classic Hulk story.
How many years did that come out?
Oh, jeez. I feel like that was over 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because I remember...
There's an animated movie for that, right?
I think so.
I might have to watch that.
Yeah.
Well, that does it for us on Radiovania, episode number 23. That was a beast of a show.
Yeah.
Comic-Con, Star Wars, Nintendo. It's a whole...
That was fun. My voice is tired and I'm hungry, so let's...
let's go with some Asian cuisine.
Let's go get ready for commentary later before I have to blow my brains out watching Shia LaBeouf act it badly.
We'll have alcohol. It'll ease the pain of Shia LaBeouf in the years of
his pain.
If you want to get in touch with the show, you can email us at radiovaniashow@gmail.com. You can tweet me at Zach Rotella. You can tweet John at @DatJohnParker. You can send us question, comments, and concerns, and we'll read your letters on the show. We'll give you a plug. We'll send you to your channel or whatever. If you like what we do, if you like the show, go to youtube.com, go to radiovania.com, and subscribe. Click that little red button. It's not that hard. Click that little thing. And, subscribe to the channel, and it'll be a good time. And you can keep up to date on all of our nerdy content, and we'll be posting a lot of stuff here in the coming weeks. If you want to see us do any different kinds of topics or any kind of specific one-off shows, let us know. But, John, thank you very much for joining me this week.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we're out.
See you, Radiovanians.